with the how environment he is going to improve day by day with respect to the CSR activity and as well as ESG roles he has. Continue with this.
So thank you very much for panelists. You have invited me to come to here. So can you talk about the industry size, which I am belonging? We have around 1,500 buyers in our company. We are catering around 1 lakh crore procurement in a year. So can you see the business volume and business? So right now in a CSR or especially in the ESG, what exactly ESG is? It is just like, you can define it a different way. It is a value in our future. Right now, what we give our society, what we give our next generation. We have enough money, enough wealth, but what about the environment? What about is it, like I have just example in outside, while we were suffering with the COVID, what we required, oxygen level 98. Is it fulfilled by the money? It is fulfilled by anything else? It is fulfilled by the position? You required only oxygen. Similar model in the ESG, what our society needs for the future. It is a ESG, simple form. There are no social, everything is inside of the ESG. But can you think about the future? Can you think about the next generation? This is the ESG. And what about the level 3 or level 1? It is again defined a very simple word. Direct raw material, direct consumer, level 1, level 2. Third, indirect consumer and indirect supports are the level 3 scopes, which is fulfillment of the, again, ABC rules. Thus 30-70% and remain 30% is come from the level 3. So how to leverage the level 3? Because level 3 is the most vital scopes. There is directly scope 1 and scope 2, directly you can calculate it and directly it's control in your hand. Where you leverage the capital investment, you leverage the external, whatever the position. But when you talk about the level 3, it is not beyond your control. So there is a parameters and there is a regulatory things, there is a anticipation thing, there is a deep dive on things, then you leverage the balancing of the level 3. Right. So I think it is more than sufficient. You have to analyze the data first, what level 3 is. Because most of the time people not confirm what is the level 1, level 2, 3 and what is the fall in the level 3 scopes. Level 3 means anything else below the raw material and the indirect raw material, it's called in the level 3. Means whatever external services, inbound logistics or outbound logistics, it is a part of the level 3. Any of the HR social values which is directly involved with the level 1, level 2 supplier or tier 1 supplier, it will fall on the level 3. Your packaging material will fall on the level 3 because you don't have a use of this. Your stationery is fall on the level 3. Your water conservation, social structure, your plantation, everything is fall on the level 3. So other than your product, which is directly visible, is a fall of the level 3 with a simple method. And it is very easy to capture the data, but you have to make it yourself with the resource planning, better the open mindset. And then you can calculate the, right. And at the sense of the CSR, government or the industry give you some benchmark that you get the leverage of the CSR 2% or 3%. It is a just allocation budget. But if you improvise the life of the social engineering, if you improvise like the humans, it is the 100% you can generate the wealth. And my opinion, my colleagues are talking about the ESG is a cost. In my opinion, ESG is you are the money founders. It is a bank of the money. When you deeply involve it, might be the impact, immediate impact is showing some money here. But when you deeply inside it, long term, it is just an apple tree where you get a money on that.
Absolutely right. So
I have some example in the cement industry.
Yes.
Can you believe it? Cement industry last 20 years is running with a similar cost. How to be run it? One production of the 1 ton cement, you require 75 units. And now the days, the cement industries are running with 0 units. How it can be it is? They can leverage the WHRS technology is there. And the maximum, the word is rooting the WHRS. Like if you understand the cement, the PPC cement is for the 40% of fly ash, which is again waste. Vedanta people give me the 100 crore per annum, even the day with the fly ash free of cost. Because that is now the limitation by the government. So how to leverage this advantage in the system? So WHRS use is you can recover the waste heat and the hot gases and again regenerate the ice. Can you believe it? I produced the 75 unit in terms of the production of the manufacturing, but I regenerated the 45 units in the rewaste generation. So my total use is only 25%. So you maintain the cost. Again, the AFR is coming in the system. Alternate fuels. Alternate fuels means the per kilocalorie cost of the energy is around 2 rupees per when you use the petcoke or you use the direct any of the type of coals. But when you use the alternate fuel, it is directly environment collections. You saving the everything from the environment. You can generate the waste. Then do things. Now the technology is using the, you have a blending it, you have a transport it, you reverse logistics it, you have to segregate it, you have to fall in the system. It's just give the 20 or 30 paisa per kilocalorie. So you can, so my gentleman, if you remember, when you deep dive it, when you take it a long-term strategy, it gives you a wonderful. Why the industry? It's not a cost reduction. It is a cost aptitude in your values. You can top line increase your value. Now everyone talking about the green steel. Everyone talking about the green cement. Every time you talk about the green product, when you take it advantage of your money. So in my opinion, ESG is if you really enjoy the ESG in a micro level, you get it a highest level of the quality, highest quality of the product, then you can also generate a revenue and wealth of this organization.
So
Thanks.
Sanjay has, I think, all the experience of cement industry he has. He knows about that how the green movement we can go ahead and do the many businesses with this, so that CSR with respect to the ESG. So jointing of that both the things where you can do and do a more business in the future. So I'm coming to Pratyush. I think the 80% of the carbon emissions of the company that comes from the scope 3 only. And we have to cater these all the suppliers, how we are connecting with the suppliers that, and how you can go and connect the data of the suppliers, because they are the main sources of your scope 3 carbon emissions, and how you collect the data from them and how you can access of the data in your organizations. Could you collaborate that point on that?
So thanks Mukesh. Good afternoon all. I'm Pratyush Kadam. I'm coming from a company called Evonik Industries, basically German chemical company. So I'm here to discuss on the significance as asked by Mukesh, and thanks for Sanjay to give a complete picture about the emission, the SGS, and the scope 3 carbon topics. So when we discuss about scope 3, we have to take care of scope 1 and scope 2. For Evonik, what we did is we have declared our reduction targets, well-established sustainability report, where we say that we will reduce scope 1 and scope 3 by 25% for a period of 2021 to 2030. And we also declared that we will reduce scope 3 by 11% till 2030. So how to achieve those reductions? So we have to look into all our internal energy structure, scope 1 related to production, scope 2 related to energy, and scope 3 specifically related to supplier emissions. So scope 1 and scope 2 are relatively easy to manage as compared to scope 3, because with scope 1 and scope 2 we will have full control, but with scope 3 our influence can be limited to influence the supplier for getting those aspects addressed into their policy. But while reaching there, we have to first ensure that we are very sincere about our own effort to reduce scope 1 and scope 3. So supplier will see, will learn from us, and then they will follow. But to follow, for supplier to follow us, we have to establish ourselves as one of the sincere partner in this field and to be a responsible for the society. So we calculate, as a Evonik, we calculate we will spend close to 3 billion euros till 2030 to achieve this target. Also we envisage that we will be carbon neutral by 2050, and this will all achieve by controlling the scope 3, scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emissions. So when we declare scope 1 and scope 2, the significance for scope 3 reduction will automatically come for the execution. So as rightly say, how we measure that? So we work with multiple agency called TFS EcoVadis, where we are the founding member. We have established our internal system where we calculate product carbon footprint, for our own products which we use, also what we buy from the third party, and we work very closely with all our suppliers to ensure that their product carbon footprint is analyzed. So we have started those activities since 2021. So we have identified our dirty products where those add more carbon intensive. We have identified our suppliers, those where we need to work together for addressing those parameters, and then by collaborating with those suppliers, making them aware, making them work together with TFS and EcoVadis, we ensure that we address this topic sincerely and try to contribute to the society from our
So
side.
Pratyush, in that scenario, we have to understand the sustainability ownership. I think what we are discussing about. So sustainability ownership will come when we freeze the baseline. So baseline of this scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 is completely depending on the direct and indirect purchases. So the third portion is that purchase with the goods and the service. I think both will comes to that.
Correct. So for a chemical industry, generally a scope 3, in scope 3 reduction, major portion is like raw materials. For us or for chemical industries, between 40 to 50% of total emissions, as against what Sanjay mentioned, around 30-35% for
Right.
overall. But for chemistry, chemical industry is a little bit higher than what we generally calculate for average. More than
Perfect. Perfect. But so I think I move to Gaurav, because Gaurav think how could we calculate this, and because some of the points we have the calculations. So what I am facing in the market, that calculations of this carbon emission itself a tough task. That how you collect the proper data from your all suppliers who are just emitting the carbons into the environment. And if we are unable to take that proper data, because in India, still sustainability itself a big task for each and everyone, because everyone is just running behind the progress, and the just fastest growing, everyone is making their company is the fastest growing company. So fastest growing, somewhere we are lacking with the ESG. So ESG, where we have to follow about the sustainability of the sustainability points of view from all of the organizations coming from the supplier. So